Hello everyone, welcome back to another NFL Weekly Predictions video. Before we get into my record from last week, I want to show you guys the game maps for your local area for week number 3. I forgot to do these for the first two, but I will show you starting now for the rest of the season going forward. Alright, to begin, these are confirmed maps as of Thursday. It's not official, but things will change potentially tomorrow or Saturday. But as of right now, these are your local map or your local game for your local area. So if in Houston, you're going to get the Texans and Jags. Say you're in Arizona, you'll get in Phoenix, you'll get Cincinnati and Minnesota. And say that you're in Buffalo, you will get the Steelers and the Patriots. But you can look at the map, pause for your local game in your area. And then this is going to be for the Fox early window. I'll let you pause it, take a quick look. And then you can see the game announcers. So like Joe Davis, Greg Olsen gets the Rams and the Eagles game. Tim Brando, Matt Millen gets the Panthers, Falcons, Kevin Quigley, Daryl Johnston, Green Bay at Cleveland. You know what I mean. And then this is the late window. Mainly, everybody's going to get Dallas and Chicago, and then some of you will end up with the Cardinals and San Francisco. Alright, so now that's out of the way, we're going to get started with our game picks. But last week, we went I'm sorry. My record was better from last week. I went 11-5. I could have won some other games, like the Jaguars were on top, but they choked to Cincinnati in the end. Seahawks Steelers, correct me. Steelers didn't had themselves in the game. It was just all Seattle on that one. The Broncos Colts. The Broncos should have won the game, but somehow like the final second, they got themselves a penalty, and the Colts got a second attempt to get a game-winning field goal, and they did not mess that up. Cardinals barely held on. I can't believe that game. It was unbelievable as a Panthers fan. I went through all the emotions. The Falcons-Vikings game, it was all Atlanta in that one. Minnesota got destroyed. And then the Bucks walked it off, and then the Chargers dominated. So yeah, those are my those are my losses. But yeah, I went a total of 11-5 for week 2, which brings my total record to 20-12 at this very moment. So I'm happy for myself, and hopefully the grind keeps on rolling as I finish. Or no, wait, hold on. I might have screwed this up. So I went 9-7. 9-7. Sorry, I'm multitasking. So 9 wins, 11 wins, 9 plus 11, which brings my total to I think 22. Alexa, what's 11 plus 9?
11 plus 9 is 20.
Okay, nah. So this is 20-12. Okay, we're going to start off with, so yeah, my current season record is 20-12. So I'm sorry about the whole yap session, but we're going to get started right away with our first game being the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. This one is going to be probably an ugly Thursday night football game. The Dolphins are just looking miserable out there. It was a close game against New England, but it was New England, and then Buffalo's a powerhouse, and Buffalo's favored by 11.5 points in this game. I'm expecting a blowout in this one. I don't think this is going to be anywhere, and I mean anywhere close. The Dolphins look drained. I'm not saying the Dolphins are a bad team, but like with the culture and with the motivation going on and the having only a players meeting, it's looking like a sign that like it's over. I'm not saying Mike McDaniel's a bad head coach or coordinator, but he just didn't know how to mature and all that. And then the Dolphins team and overall, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's like realistically mid, but because of like the culture and everything, it's just stripped down. And then Buffalo, they got their act together and they're like one of the powerhouses. And I think the Bills are going to be in for a long year in a good way. But in this one, I'm expecting a blowout. I'm not expecting anything um, interesting in this game, but my final score for the Bills and the Dolphins, I'm expecting a blowout. Give me Buffalo 47, Miami 14 in this one. Next up, we have the first Sunday game is the Green Bay Packers and the Cleveland Browns. This one's gonna be more closer than people anticipate it to be. It's gonna be one of those games that it's expected to be a blowout, but I've got a feeling that the Browns are gonna put up a fight in this one with Joe Flacco. I think this one is going to be an actual shootout between these two teams. Yes, I know Green Bay's defense is really good, and I know the Browns are really bad, but we see these type of matchups that Green Bay, like good teams or bad teams, put up a fight against good teams. Some of them. I'm not saying it happens every time, but I've got a feeling that that's gonna happen. I'm not saying Cleveland's gonna win, but I think it's going to be a close game than other people anticipate it to be. I have Green Bay still winning this one. Don't fall for the trap, Green Bay. You guys are probably the top team in the league right now, or one of the best. But make sure you don't fall for a trap. But I have this one being really close. Give me Green Bay 27. Give me Green Bay 27. Cleveland 23. Next up we have is the Colts and the Titans. The Colts came up away with the win against the Broncos, and the Colts look impressive right now. I don't know if this is like the Saints run from last year or if they are actually like the Minnesota Vikings. We really don't know, but I think if they can play like that against the Broncos, then there should be no excuse for them to beat the Titans. There should be no excuse to losing to the Titans. Titans are in a rebuild mode, and I'm not confident where they're heading right now. Colts, on the other hand, they look good, and I think that they can easily blow them out of the water, and I think that's what's going to happen. Based off the way they're playing, if they continue to play like that, how they did in week 1 and 2, the Colts are going to smack them out of the park, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I got the Colts winning by the final score of 30-13 in this one. Now we are heading to Cincinnati and Minnesota. This game is going to be really, really interesting now because this is the battle between the backup quarterbacks because J.J. McCarthy's out and Joe Burrow's out. So you have Jake Browning against Carson Wentz. And I'll tell you what, this game is going to be probably a shootout game now that I think of it. It will be a shootout because you got firepower offenses on both sides of the ball with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and then now Jake Browning. And on the Minnesota side, you got Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, and Carson Wentz. And then you have Jordan Mason, who is extremely underrated, by the way. I think if he gets used, he'll be underrated. And then you have Jalen Naylor as well, and Hawkinson. I think the Vikings are pretty banged up at the moment, but I think this team could get things back together. And then I think this one's going to be a very close game. I think it's going to be an entertaining one. But I got Minnesota bouncing back from a horrendous game last week against the Falcons. Give me Minnesota to win this one by the final score. And a very good game by a final score of 30-20 in this one. And then that brings us to Pittsburgh and New England. I'm not sure how Pittsburgh's defense is going to respond, but I think this is now we've seen that the Steelers' defense has got some growing pains and got some issues to start the season. And I think the Patriots are going to get done. I know the Steelers are favored, but I like New England in this matchup. I'm more confident in New England than I am right now in Pittsburgh. But this could be a toss-up for both teams really either way. I'm not sure who's going to win it, but I'm more confident in New England having a home field advantage. I got New England barely squeaking out a win. It's going to be 27-22 in New England. I like this matchup, and this should be a pretty fair game. And then now we got probably the game of the week, or second to best game of the week. There's really the Monday Night Football is going to be an extremely fun one, but the second best game of the week is going to be the Rams and the Eagles, the NFC divisional round rematch. This one probably should have been America's game of the week if I'm going to be really honest, but it wasn't. The Eagles have been really slow on offense to start the season. Saquon's been doing his thing, and Jalen Hurts is off to a slow start in the year with the new play calling. It's really been bad for the first two games, I think. And then the receivers have not really been involved for Jalen Hurts. He's been off to a slow start with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They've been really off to a bad start this year. And meanwhile, it's been all Saquon Barkley. He hasn't had the greatest start to the year, but I think he'll turn things around. I think the Eagles' offense is really starting out very slow, but their defense is still probably going to be the best in the league. But the Eagles do got to get things together really soon, and yeah, the defense, on the other hand, I think it's still really good as of this very moment. But I think we're gonna see a shootout in this one. But right now, I think the Rams are the better suited team than we thought and when we expected to be. I think the Rams are gonna win this one. I'm more confident in the Rams. I know the Eagles right now in this game are favored by 3.5 points, but I think the Rams with Matt Stafford, Puka Nacua has been on a tear right now to start the year. I think the Rams are going to win this one in probably a great game. I got the Rams getting revenge in Philly by the final score of 27-24 in this one. It's going to be an extremely fun game. And that leads us to the Jets and Buccaneers now. So we know that Justin Fields will not be playing. And then I'm not sure about any other injuries in this one. But I'm not. Whoever's starting for this one, it doesn't matter. I have Tampa Bay winning it in a blowout, 26-7. It's gonna be not a fun game. We already know Justin Fields is out. It's not gonna. It's probably gonna be really boring, if I'm going to be honest. But Tampa Bay's pretty banged up to start the year, unfortunately. It feels like they're off to a rough start with dealing with some injuries. But yeah, I know Tampa will probably be fine at this very moment. But Jets don't look good right now, and then Tampa looks like the better team. It's gonna not be a fun game. Next one, Raiders and the Commanders. So this one's not very interesting because Jaden Daniels is questionable to play against the Raiders this week. He may not be starting in week 3. He may be out. But other than that, the Raiders didn't look good last week against the Chargers, which the Chargers are miles better than probably the Raiders, which isn't shocking, to be completely honest. So, I'm not sure what's to expect in this one. I'm probably confident that Marcus Mariota will get the job done if he were to start, or Jaden Daniels. I'm still confident in the Commanders winning. It's going to be a close game. It's probably going to be one of the boringest games of the week. But I think the Commanders will get it done barely. It's going to be 19-16 in this one. Falcons and the Panthers. Last week, Carolina suffered a brutal heartbreaker as we almost came back and won. It was really bad first half. Good effort in the second half, but we need to stop having these good effort games. The Panthers need to start winning games sooner or later. We need to look a better football team than 5-12 every year. It's time to wake up. It's time to be a better football team. And then the Falcons, they looked pretty mid against the Vikings. It was boring in Minnesota, but they played one of the probably top defenses coaches in the league and probably defenses in the league, but they were gassed out in the end. But the Falcons won in that one, and I think the Falcons are probably gonna have a bounce back game on offense for sure. I think they're gonna win this one. Unfortunately, right now I'm confident in the Falcons and my team. I think the Falcons will get it done by the final score of 28-17. I don't like this matchup at all for Bryce Young. I know he kicked their butt last year, but this year's different. And I don't like where we're heading right now. The motivation's pretty weak in this team, and we need this. We need to get things together. And Panthers, Evero, I am calling you to please, please, please start Lathan Ransom over Nick Scott. Please do it for the team. He's not good. I'm sorry, but Nick Scott is not very good at football. I want the best for the team. Also, please start Nick Scorton and Princely. We need more action from the rookies instead of using rotational guys as our starters. We need rookies. We need them to see how much they can play. And please give Jimmy Hornet Jr. a chance over Xavier Legette. He's been terrible. Please give Xavier Legette the bench. He has not been good. He's been bust material, respectfully. You shouldn't be doing that. He's been rough. And that's all I have to say about my Panthers, because we do not look good right now. But and Legette has been terrible. He's only has 4 receptions for 8 yards all year. To start week 1, he was 3 for 7 for 10 yards, and then week 2, 1 for 8. 1 reception for 8 targets. That's bad. Really bad. For -2 yards. He's been bust material. Please bench him. Respectfully. He needs to get his game together. He needs to get himself... We need to get called out for that. It's not okay. But now we're going to go to the Texans and Jaguars game. I have the Jaguars winning in a boring game. I think this one's going to be 20-17. And this one, I think the Texans defense is going to hold Jacksonville, but the Texans offense can't do anything. So I'm confident Jacksonville will get the win and Texans will start 0-3. I don't like where Houston's at right now. I wouldn't be shocked if Houston were to win this game. They need this win. But the defense has been doing its part. The offense needs to get it together. The play calling in Houston needs to get it together. The weapons need to step up. The O-line has to step up. But I fear that this is going to be the whole line for the entire year. It's going to be like that for the entire year. The Texans aren't going to be good if they play like that. They need to give Stroud protection, but they failed to do it. They need to take opportunities of it. And they're just blowing it away. And that leads us to the Broncos and Chargers, which I think this should be pretty fun as well. But in this one, I think this is going to be another close game. I'm trying to reopen that Google Doc. It closed, and my Wi-Fi is pretty slow right now. But I think I have the Chargers winning this one in a dogfight of a game between these two teams. The Broncos aren't going to let that up, but it's going to be a shootout back and forth game. Give me Chargers 27, Broncos 24. Fun game between these two teams. And Saints Seahawks is going to be next. This is where the Saints are going to get blown out of the water. I think this is where the finally happens. The Saints get blown out of the water. I don't like playing in Seattle. I think Seattle's going to make a lot of noise and a lot of problems for the Saints. Sam Darnold will bounce back and will dominate in this one. Give me Seattle winning 35-10 in this one. Now we get the Dallas Cowboys and the Bears. This is going to be probably a shootout. Both defenses have been terrible. And I think this one's going to be probably back and forth as well. But I have Dallas coming up with the victory. I can't trust the Bears right now. They look terrible. The Bears don't look good. The Bears look like a disaster class. And the Bears are in growing pains and all sides of the ball. But Caleb Williams does look a little bit better. But still needs to be worked with. Still a lot of work to do. But I think this is going to be a close game between these two teams. But I am more confident in Dallas in this one to get the job done, to go to 2-1. Give me Dallas 27, Bears 24. And now that leads us to our final Sunday lit window game, Cardinals 49ers. This is going to be probably a better game than Dallas and Chicago in general, in my opinion. But shootout game, Cardinals lose in overtime. I have the 49ers with Mac Jones getting the job done, back and forth game. 49ers win. They will win 30-24 in an overtime shootout game. And then that leads us to the Chiefs and Giants. I'm not going to talk much about this game. Look, both of these teams desperately need a win, and I think the Chiefs are going to learn from their mistake. They'll get their first win of the year. I have no panic in the Chiefs yet. If they do start 0-3, there may be some speculations because you don't start 0-3 and then come back now. I mean, you probably still can, but I got the Chiefs in this one. I think they'll bounce back. 34-13. They're going to blow the Giants out. The Giants suck. And the Chiefs desperately need a win, and I have no panic intentions for them yet. Unless if they do lose to the Giants, then we have problems. Then we really have problems for the Chiefs because they need to win at Baltimore, or they need to win against the Ravens next week. But I don't know how the Ravens are already going to be because the Ravens have a really tough schedule ahead of them right now. Now we're speaking about the Ravens. Then we have the Lions and the Ravens. I don't know which Lions team are we going to get. Are we going to get the Lions team that got destroyed by Green Bay, or are we going to get the Lions team that destroyed the Bears? Because I think this could be a close game. I don't know if if it was just that one game for Detroit that just was really terrible and then they just woke up the next week, or if they just aren't good against contending teams no more. But in this one, I have the Ravens winning in a good game, but I think the Lions are gonna run out of gas early. The Lions are gonna run out of gas early. I like the Ravens right now. I think they'll kill the Lions in this one. It's gonna be 31-17, and the Ravens will get the job done. Now that's my Week 3 NFL predictions, people. I hope you guys enjoyed, and be safe. And I will see you guys next week.